Guys,
Hello.
hey, welcome to the another episode of Fearless Founder, a ritual on Friday where we celebrate the journeys of first generation founders. Today we have Komal with us. She is a social butterfly. She has been philanthropist. She is also a part of Robin Hood Army who takes care of those people who need food. So they collect food from a lot of restaurants and social gatherings and they distribute to these guys. So welcome Komal and welcome. It's great to be you have in this show where we are celebrating the journeys of first generation founders and again we have a lot of audience coming right now. So welcome again and would like to learn from your experience that you have done in past few years.
Hi. Thank you for having me here. Um, uh, a little bit introduction about myself. I've done my MBA Ahmedabad University, and I worked with startup in my initial years right after MBA, and then I was inclined towards more on advertising. So I joined an advertising agency in Ahmedabad, and in during my work course of 1.5 years there, I thought that I should be able to do it myself. I sense that I have that uh, potential or capacity to do a in this thing. So I started doing freelancing right after that, and uh, and then I have my own agency for the past 2 years, and it's great.
That's great to know. So how did Coco happen actually? What was the problem or what problem you guys are solving for business owners now?
Right. The thing is that Coco started uh, uh, having to know that I in my freelancing also. I think with a lot of freelancers myself, because designers and copywriters and assembling a team deliver a good work for local brands and national brands. I sense that there was a gap, like there was a difficulty for me to have in terms of deliverables. I couldn't take more than a couple of brands, on the basis
Right.
of my own, right? So then, now, this thing click that I should be my own team, so that I can cater to more and more locally and nationally, right? Actually,
Right.
the expansion point of it, more team members I have, the team I have, more clients I should cater to. So that's
That's,
how it. And we started in December 2000. So basically, that was the time when I registered my firm, and I was looking for a full time team. By the time I had my full time team in place, COVID hit. So
uh,
that's biggest challenge, and in the short span time of me having it, there was a lot to handle, but things kept going. A few clients who stick with us, a lot of clients backed out also, and a couple of clients who were with us from the beginning and who stick with us. So I think that kept us going.
that's great. So as you mentioned that you started pre-COVID and then when you started you were about to get momentum and then COVID hit. So
Yeah.
there are certain businesses who definitely had surge in their business during COVID as well. So how do you see market has changed post COVID? Because yes, there is a decent level of shift happened in the mindset as well. So how do you see? Because you have been
Right.
talking to clients before COVID as well, and then now it's been couple of years COVID ahead. So what's the kind of mentality that has changed for the business owners?
So basically, to digital, people have started taking little more seriously, I would say. A lot of businesses have suffered also, but because of the amount of what do you call the skills, you know, and the axe brings on the table, people started to understand and people started taking it seriously. So I say for digital,
Okay.
because everything was online during COVID, those 1.5 years, everything was online. So people, they were exploring, educating themselves. The biggest locally is that that people, if even if they understand digital a bit, they don't know what to expect, and they don't
Right.
have the idea of how, so they get impatient with digital. कि भाई digital
Right.
है तो हो जाए. Then
Right.
it takes takes proper understanding of what works, doesn't work for your brand. You know, that was the process. Educated them, we took them on board. We so each brand needs different style communication and different strategy altogether. So that
Right.
was the thing. In in the COVID period, people started seriously, and a lot of
Right.
people who were not doing digital came on.
That's great because see, I have been also running an agency, and I realize that there has been a shift in the mindset of the consumer. But again, as you mentioned, that you need to educate the customer, and that's where
Yeah,
a lot of agency owners are investing their time. So, how do you invest your time in educating the customer? What are the different areas that you need to educate a customer that yes, digital can work for you?
yeah. So a lot of that happens during the presentation itself, right? Uh, so when we have our first meeting with the client to understand objectives are and what are the things they want to touch upon, so understand what kind of business they are into and what the companies are doing. So we take along uh, researched pitch presentation with
Right.
in front, and we try to explain that, these that will work for your brand. These are the these are your who are doing such an activity for you around you. So within the limitations that you have in terms of budget, other things, uh, we suggest this is the best strategy do, and these are the outcomes that you can expect over these many
Right.
months or these many days or what. So we try to plan to them, explaining to them that this is a step by step. It's a game of consistency. You have to do this, and we can add, probably adding other things to the whole plan. That's how, I mean, in the pitch presentation, we try to them that this is the journey that we are going to follow, and these are the things that we are going to do for you.
So that's a great strategy because then when you set up the expectation at the first stage, I'm sure there is a lot of calibration happens as well over there because they also come to know that what is possible and how much digital can help because there is always a gap between the expectation and the reality, and that calibration is very
Yeah,
very important in the beginning.
correct. I would also like to add that having a plan in place, for long term, and this thing from, let's say we have a 6 month plan in the phase only, and then we keep a regular, if you are doing SEO, if you are doing promotion, doing, if you are experimenting with the content itself, we regular check, let's say fortnightly or once a month, that
Right.
are we going in the right direction? Is this what you want for your brand on the social pages? So
Makes
we keep
sense.
analyzing and having detailed brainstorming session with the clients is best. This is the thought that we begin with, and so it is being here, and we kind of have a candid chat with them that this is the is are you okay with the pace? Do you want to ideas to it? Do you want us to work around the strategy that we are working on? So I think keeping a regular check also give them assurance that team is for it. It's just not treated as another to them.
Correct. Correct. So, being a first generation founder, I'm sure you might have faced a lot of starting trouble. You could just say as a teething problem as well. So, how did you actually overcome those things? And I'm sure there is always next level of challenges on the way. But how do you cope up with the initial challenges? Because as you said that you started pre-COVID, so mindset was not digital first that point of time.
Yeah. No, the idea was always little first, to be honest. But my challenges were outside my business, this thing, because, challenges are something that doesn't keep me holding. Okay. I think it's a fuel to me, the more challenge, the more aggressive I become to, so basically it works from whichever direction it comes. So my this thing was that so fundamental challenge that I had to face was the there was not in my family as well. Okay, so I yeah, so that was one thing that I took a long time to explain to them that this is what I want and this is not just a random uh, thing that I you. This is very serious and this is I want to take it long term. And I was thankful enough to have a mentor close to me who trusted me with this idea and who invested in and my idea. Uh, that's what I think that has helped me a lot to learn while I am also experimenting and keeping my sanity. So my investor is yes source of inspiration and um, a person trust you so much and can give he to step me at every point in time, a business wise, personal wise, or financially as well. So I think mentor is a very good um, support system which can hold uh, smallest silliest mistake that can lead to a thing later on. So I think
Right.
that is something that I am very thankful for. And also Rishi, who is messaging on the uh,
Yeah.
chat box. Rishi has been with me. He's a co-founder of KOKO. He's always
Okay.
been with me and such a sweet. He takes care of the team management and everything. And the frequency that we share with each other, it is important to have uh, a support system within as well, who can uh, be of a support that can take your ideas and business to next level basically. So
Right.
having these people around, I think we don't see challenges as a setback. I think we love challenges.
That's great to hear. And I think that's where being an entrepreneur takes a lot of effort from you. That if you start taking or thinking challenges as an opportunity, you go to a next level actually. Because that's where every entrepreneur has been tuned that if there is a problem, then there is definitely an opportunity to solve that and grow to the next level. That's
Yes.
basically an entrepreneur mindset. So,
Yeah.
see, being an entrepreneur, we have a very always have a very thin line between the personal life and professional life because your brain is 24 by 7 thinking towards achieving your goals and targets. And as you said, even if you are with your family, you're still on the phone, uh, firefighting sometime, uh, getting
100%.
on a call for a quick query. So, how do you manage that fine line always be there because you need your me time as well and a family time also? How do you manage that?
100%. I think it comes naturally. I so yeah, of course I take holidays. I am when I am on deadlines, I am fully committed to it. It's not that you know, it doesn't make that doesn't um comes with a personal, this thing expense. Uh I think it happens. We really plan as a team. We plan everything in advance. Okay, so our work is um, planned in such a way that even if I have to, uh, even if there's a thing from the team, let's say they have to go somewhere, with the commitments or personal these things. I mean, even if the person from the team is missing, work is still doesn't hold still. So we the key is to have such a robust planning itself, so that it's there. Once it's approved, it's all taken care by anybody who is there in. So basically, nobody works maniac in the team, but we have to work in such a way that we can uh, go back home on time and take a vacation we want, and we can cater to our commitments as we don't back due to work. So that's how I also manage, and that is how I also expect my team members to manage. So I think nobody in the office will complain about work life and personal life balance.
That's amazing because see, over a period of time, I've been reading. In fact, you have also been reading a lot of people talking about the burnouts and the busyness, and nine to
Yeah,
five gets extended to 9 to 9 as well. So I think it's a good
yeah,
way you guys are managing it.
yeah.
So
But it
it's
doesn't
great.
mean that it doesn't happen. It is always going to happen because the nature of the industry is such. There are events, there are launches, and there are so many things that you cannot control, and you cannot certain times you cannot even plan something in advance that
Right,
much.
right,
Okay, so overtime also happen our case as well. We try to balance it out the next time that the other commitments are not basically you don't miss out
right,
on anything in person basically.
right, right. Um, I don't know how to ask this, but how do you take like first of all is do you have self doubts, or if yes, then how do you take care of that?
Yes, yes, 100%. I mean, self doubt, yes, and wise as well, because sometimes the thought that we present to clients may not be accepted by as we thought they would. Okay, so I think yeah, it's always, but what the process that I follow is you detect the problem basically. What if my ads get bombed, or if my promotions don't work, strategy is uh, completely opposite of what my clients are thinking of. So
Right,
I like to take the criticism in very openly, and I like to see that what is the point that I missed on, and I go back. That is again something that I enjoy doing it, because that gives me a perspective in person as well, as a person as well. Something so maybe something so silly or something so simple, you can there's always a chance of human error out on some
yes,
detail, it's out on you can misunderstand thing, and it's always good to accept it, take it as a fair criticism, and go back and work on it so that you come out better next time. So yeah, personal doubt, self
right.
doubt always, but use it in your own this thing.
That's great, and I think everybody has it, but it's just that how you look into that makes the real difference actually.
I'm also, as I'm blessed, people that I'm working with, uh, be it my team member, or be it my brands that I'm associated with, be it the business owner that's associated with. They have been so um, a lot of times clients can be pain, to deal with, to handle. People slowly, once you frequency with each other, I think it becomes more easier to communicate and accept that okay, yeah, I made a mistake. Want to rectify it. Going with your intention of rectifying that situation, people give you, second chances and all of that, and you have that better understanding of things. Have better understanding of things. You can deliver in a better way, right? So it's to have
right,
people who, if you make mistakes, give you second chances to improvise yourself. So I think it's great. It's build that
right.
rapport with people that you work.
Great, great. So, since you started agency pre-COVID, and I have been in the industry from past almost like 12 plus years now. In last 4 or 5 years, what we have seen is there's a technology is taking a lot of front seat now in marketing. So the term like martech is also been introduced, that how marketing is done through a technology, and we can't think marketing without technology these days. So at Coco, how do you integrate that technology stack in your day-to-day operations? So how smoothly the technology actually helping you to operate?
100%. And having technology in place gives you a more broader tips in terms of handling like a quantum of things that you want to deliver particular brand. Say, some brands like Mintra, they have such a vast line of this thing that it is humanly impossible to analyze a data or perform in such a way. But with smaller business and with brands, it's not much of a dependency on technology, so to say. But
Right.
yeah, of course, regular basis, something like Grammarly,
Yes.
it has become a daily, it has become routine now that you are not
Right.
dependent on Grammarly. Your Grammarly is just to identify those human errors that you may have, uh, you know, uh, probably missed out on.
Yeah.
Something like Grammarly helps us to proof check our
Yeah.
work, and to, there are so many tools that we use for SEO. There are so many tools we
Right.
use for scheduling the content that we put on multiple platforms for multiple brands. So
Right.
of course, it makes life of a marketer very easy, but total
Right.
dependency on it is like something that will come on the later stage. I think human touch is always going to be a part of the process.
Right. And in the process, being an agency owner, we make a lot of mistakes, right? And then we
Yeah.
realize that it could have been avoided. So, what do you see that like any agency owner is making that kind of, or it can be done by any agency owner, but it can be avoided with just simple caution. Maybe you just give a thought on that, and you can't do that.
100%. Even, it's been what, 2 years for me. I'm also still learning. Okay. For me to give advice to other owners is something that, uh, I think I'm still making mistake and I'm still learning
So
from
let's take it up. Let's take it in the other way. So if you look back, it's been like 2 plus years in the entrepreneur's journey. If you want to give an advice to your younger self now, when you
yeah,
started
yeah.
upon,
Yeah. So for that, I think negotiations is a big part of the whole process, because negotiation happens in the first stage of conversation, and you're going to carry forward the project throughout later to unfold. Later things unfold in a way where your resources do not justify your efforts and do not justify the fees that you. I think negotiation is the what do you call, you have to have that understanding of the quantum of work that you are committing to, the resources and the time that you're going to put after that particular project or retainer, right? So that calculation has to be, very clear from day one for you, because
right,
it becomes a habit. Then you don't even realize started, because a lot of time it happens that you get an opportunity, you want to work maybe for less. What happens, chalo portfolio ban raha hai karke we take it, but
good,
it becomes such a tedious task to fit that in a small team. If you have, okay, then you don't have space. Even if you get opportunities 15 days later, you don't have that space to accommodate. So um, it is wise to lose on a few things on the cost of just having to have that brand on your portfolio, or just to make that team के अभी team खाली है, let's take the project and just pay the bills. And because it is such a uh, div- it is such a diversified industry that 15 days later a bigger opportunity will show up, and then you don't have
Yes.
that space. So I think one thing, negotiation is very very crucial decision making process. You should weigh your resources, your time that you give, and then quote. And then even if you have to negotiate, bar in head, okay, you don't have to go beyond that just to have that brand on your portfolio. That is my biggest learning. Okay. And other thing, if I have to, yeah, again, there are a few brands that you get very attached to, emotionally
Yes.
attached to a few brands. And that is like a relationship that you have to water every now and then. So some portion of partiality comes in picture. Okay, you prioritize it more, you have that.
Yes.
So should not happen. There has to be a
Yes.
balance connect with brands and people that you work with. You don't want to like flow yourself more into one thing and cut off yourself from other things. I think that should not happen. You should have a balance among all the brands and clients that you're catering to. I think two basic and major learning that I had uh, for myself within the 2 years of experience.
Oh, that's very well. I think the first learning that you made about negotiations, actually sometimes it becomes burnout for agencies, because if you are
Yeah.
not able to gauge how much effort you and your team is going to put, and if you quote it wrong and then you back the project, even if you are earning money, actually you're not making the money,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You end up putting your own money at stake.
Absolutely. And if we are in a such industry where cost of resources and time is always going up, so 3 months, six
Huh.
months down the line, it becomes really, really difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And a lot of the
that's
times there is you also need to have that a term and condition in, you know, every year you need to ask for a increment or
yes,
retainership as well. Or understand that,
yes,
business a lot of times they don't understand ki, you need to increase the fees beyond after a period of time.
certain
Because
point of time.
yeah, because nothing that it is now up to flow mein aa gaya hai, and know it all, this thing. But yeah, these are things that you should keep in mind. You should keep a check also that you follow up on these things when there's a due time.
Right, right. But lately, due to this COVID, there's a lot of buzz happening about work from home, work from office, and companies adopting the hybrid culture as well. So, how you have
Hmm.
guys are managing this? What's your mantra?
We are work from office people, all of us, okay? Because the team is one unit, okay? We all combine become one unit, and each of us complement each other's ideas and work. And okay, even if there's one person who is working from home, let's say my copywriter is working from home, I don't it doesn't work. I did a lot of times, and we try to accommodate everybody. Okay, chalo kar, we let's try. And yeah, but no, we are work from office people. All each of us, each one's other, to come up with idea, to come up with solutions on the spot. Okay, so even if I
Right,
start saying a sentence, the other one will complete me. That only happens in the brainstorming sessions that we do after every pitch presentation, or before preparing for
right.
a campaign strategy or anything. We all come together in that way. So all of us are work from office people.
Right, and it actually helps you to build culture of the organization as well. Because if you are scattered remote, yes, people are connected through phone, through WhatsApp, through project management
Right.
tools, but that water cooler moments are basically build a culture around the organization.
Exactly. Very true.
Right,
Very true. Very true.
right. So it's been couple of years plus. Yeah, you are operating, building up a lot of portfolio, expanding the team. So what's the near future for Coco?
Near future for KOKO, after COVID, sustainability has been a uh, pro problem point for me. Okay,
Okay,
so so my idea of first thing to is a facility for a longer time, because in the within the 2 years we have faced three waves. Okay, every time we start having a circle in place, a circuit in place, that okay, now my team is in place, I have certain brands in on board with us. Again, the COVID wave hit, and clients will back out, people will switch, yevo. So my only idea for the near future is to attain a sustainability first
right,
priority, right? And then we are by simultaneously we are also exploring metaverse, NFT, and how can we add this to our understanding ke, we are already catering to national clients as well, right, and
right,
international clients as well. So how do we game up, how do we level up from the current services that we are, and how can we add on more services, more and more departments? I one is to have a production team also. Okay, so digital
great,
first, having a production team, in-house production team will help with a lot of photo shoot videos. There are a lot of things, like lot of patterns around content creation have changed the way brand perform on their social media. So yeah,
right.
that's there, but sustainability first priority, and then probably later on adding to the services.
Great, great. And see, kind of industry we are working, it's very resource driven industry that
Yeah,
you need human capital for this rather than a financial capital, because you get a lot of human capital which can turn into a finance as well over a period of time. So while building up a team, what kind of actually challenges that you faced and how you tackle that on day to day basis, because creating a right team is very, very important. So how, what kind of challenges you
a
faced on that?
lot of, yeah, a lot of challenges, rightly put. Human capital, even me and Rishi. So me and Rishi sit for having the right team in place every time we are for the hiring spree. We are on the hiring spree. So basically, the major challenges after during COVID was, it was okay. We were getting all the resources that we wanted, and we had like a right mix of people that we really had in mind. Uh, After COVID, there are so many opportunities that have opened up for candidates as well. Bigger agencies are again hiring people, because obviously digital got a push after. So bigger agencies are expanding, and there are a lot of other opportunities opening up for people. So they're always switching. So the iteration is the major problem that we are currently facing. Okay, people don't stick for too long. So, and and people. So if you have that team in place, if you have that core team in place who are there with you for long, they understand the vision, they understand the work you want to do, they understand the work patterns. You don't have to every time orient them on the new
Yes,
project,
absolutely.
so that saves a lot of time. When Whereas newer people coming in, you have to spend some time with them to understand what is their speed to grasp certain things, and what are the things that we can expect out of them. Okay, so
Right,
it's everybody have the same capacity, everybody doesn't have the same understanding. you know some people might do a work in 2 hours, and some people might take 4 hours to do this work. So I think
Yes.
the iteration with more and more people switching the job and newer people coming in, I think that takes up a lot of time. So biggest challenge that we had faced. Baki, other than that, we are very. It's not a corporate culture in the agency. There have been
Right.
so many times people perceive agency agency culture as a very toxic culture or
Yeah.
very. I, different people have different opinion about it, but at KOKO we are very friendly and we are very open to each other about you know random stuff. So we talk
Right.
more um, other than work. We talk more sometimes other than work, because just to have that connect in place. Once you connect
Yes.
with a person on a, I think that kind of brings more genuine what do you call interest in the company. It's just not a company that you're working in. It is everybody's. There's no ma'am or sir culture in the company. Everybody is a friend and everybody should feel a part of it, that KOKO belongs to everybody who works at KOKO. So that
Right.
is the kind of culture we are trying to build. All of us are trying to build at
That's
KOKO.
That's amazing effort actually, because this shows that a your passion towards the industry, and also passion towards the kind of people that you try to bring into this organization. Because as I said, being an agency owner, if your first interest is to build up a core team which resonates with your vision and mission. Because if you want to make it much bigger, you need that core team who looks up in the same direction. If somebody
Yes,
else is looking in an east and the other is looking at the west, in after 6 months down the line, you'll see that you're still standing at the same position, basically. So
100%.
that's amazing thing. So what's success for Komal? What is success?
I mean, this is very such a spiritual to me rather than realistic, to be really honest. Uh, Anybody who is in my circle, anybody, my friends, my family, my colleagues, or my clients that I connect personally with should be, happy in whatever they are doing. I think if I'm able to build a bond, my biggest inspiration is people, and my biggest strength is people. And any so if even if I am able to develop a very great long lasting connection with the people around me, I think that is success. That nothing will make me happy if I'm able to be a person who is available to hear, lash out at, or people who should be comfortable to come to me, basically, and I should be able to contribute to what they are expecting me to contribute. So I think that is something that if that happens, so even if they are my colleagues, clients, anybody around me, even so, it makes me happy. And that is something that I consider as success. And other than that, work wise, I say, if I'm being appreciated, if my work appreciated, I think that is my success. If I'm thinking of something with the working on, and if that gets appreciated, nothing like it, nothing like it. I think
That's
that
great.
is
I
my
think
reward and my award.
that's great actually. If you are thinking towards the success of people, that's if you are seeing your success in their success, basically you are setting up the higher goal for yourself. And I think you summed up very well that success is more of a spiritual thing rather than a materialistic thing. Because I don't know how you will summarize in terms of money, but if you have a happy faces around you, that's basically a success.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. Last, I think 1 year or odd, what is happening is there are a lot of freelancers are now trying to build up their agencies, and there's nothing wrong in it.
Hmm.
Everybody has their uh, vision, views. Everybody's a right to create their own castle, right? So when you made a transition from a freelancer to an agency owner, what is that few things that you would still want to give as a brownie points to those freelancers who are planning in transition of building up their own agencies now?
Said I'm also on my own, and I'm still making mistakes a lot of times. But one thing I would really suggest for anybody who's in the transit should have a financial base. Okay, and that is something a long term commit. Okay,
Right,
you it's very what do you call, you cannot ex for every penny that you spend have a broader idea of, let's say you have a team of 5 people in this, and if you have zero clients and you are so renting up a space, or all the expenses that you're making, expense that you can incur, and what is the lowest income that you can expect. Okay, having that balance in, and having that for a time in perspective before getting into such a because it's a big decision, and we
right,
didn't know. We came with very optimistic uh in our head. Okay, we'll start an agency and look out. I already had a couple of clients with me. We'll network, we'll do that, everything will work out, we'll expand and not. But should have we didn't know we coming in. We didn't know
yes,
clients will back out. We didn't know our employees will switch. All of that we didn't consider, and taken a lot uh, manage. It's a lot. We didn't consider this as from a financial perspective.
right,
So you
right,
if you want to like step into it, and if you want to continue doing time till you don't achieve what you had in your as a objective, you leave your objectives till then, be able to have that financial calculation always in your head. Okay, what if I'm sitting on zero people team? Will I sustain the team for 2 months, 3 months, for however long
right.
it takes? So that calculation needs from day one. I think that is open a lot of perspective, and there's nothing wrong in taking leap. Okay, even if you have slight, you will always have that uh, you know flies in your stomach that you are taking a vision and it is uncertain. And if you feel confident, take the leap, then might as well take the leap. Things will just
That's
like it did for me.
absolutely, absolutely. And that's bring to an end to this episode. Thank you, Komal, for sparing your 40 minutes with us, sharing a lot of learnings, lessons, and sharing a very candid moment where I can see that there are very few things that has come out of this interview when you say that what success is for you and what the agency life is for you. So thanks for sharing this candid moment, and I would love to thank our audience as well who stick by posting a lot of comment here, and I was not able to reply to them, but I'm sure they are listening to that conversation. So,
Yeah, it's
any
great.
final note would you love to give to our audience? That's how this agency life has what exactly the agency life is teaching you, as we can prove.
Agency life, the biggest lesson that agency life is teaching me is to connect with people around me level, beyond business, beyond work. If you can, a stranger with your ideas or with your in any ways, if you are able to build a connection, because I meet a lot of business owner out of the blue, just for business, okay, but we are once we are done with the the services that we are going to further, there's nothing much that I know of that person. So I think, and because advertising is also about understanding how a demographic works, okay, so I think knowing how a person is behaving and why the person is behaving in such a way, and how can you hold a conversation with a complete stranger, is a beauty has taught me. You know, even if I'm talking with you, I think never had such a long conversation before, right?
Right.
We are so talk to each other and exchange ideas. I think that is so beautiful, and that is what I think it's teaching me every day. Even if I'm interviewing other people, I'm pitching to brands, or I'm speaking with business owners, always give me an understanding how other people are thinking and behaving in certain way. I think that connect is something that I look forward to every day.
That's great. And I think it was an amazing talking to you, Komal, and to our audience as well. Keep enjoying, and till the next Friday, where we bring another founder and unfold his story. Thank you, Komal, for being in the show.
Thank you, Mayu, for having me, and thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.